Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you an Archfiend deck updated now that we have this new card from the Yugi event, Archfiend Commander. Now this card is really cool. It says if you control an Archfiend card, you can special summon this card from your hand, but it cannot attack this turn. Now it doesn't have to be a monster. You can only special summon Archfiend Commander once per turn this way. When special summon this way, target one Archfiend card you control. Again, it doesn't have to be a monster. And destroy that target. When this card is tribute summoned, you can target one level 6 Archfiend monster in your graveyard. Special summon that target in face up defense position. So the only downside I see to this card is the fact that you cannot attack the turn you special summon it, which sucks a little bit, but it still works with the rest of the combo pieces that I'll go over. Mainly, it works because you can replace your Archfiend, your normal summon Archfiend that's going to go to the graveyard, with the Archfiend Commander after you pop a card. Another thing you can do is summon Archfiend Cavalry, special summon Commander, destroy Cavalry, and then you get to special summon something from the graveyard. Those are the main combos you can do with Archfiend Commander. The tribute summon effect is pretty nice, but because you're summoning it in defense mode, it didn't come up as much because you're trying to be aggressive with this deck, so summoning in defense mode is not that good unless you're summoning something like it has to be a level 6. Never mind. So yeah, the only thing you can summon in itself, and I threw in an Archfiend Giant in there. I'm running 30 cards because I really enjoy 30 card decks, and it works for this deck. I started using Spell Specialist and it would just brick a lot, so I decided to go for a balanced version. And even though I did 7, 7, and 16, there's times where I don't open a spell. I'm not sure why. I don't know if I have to go 8, 8, and 14, but I don't really want to do that. I'm still getting a spell most of the time, so we're trying to get grass, obviously. I threw in one Shuffle Reborn, which is all I have. This card is really good. If you control no monsters, target one monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. It can still attack though, which is very important. So you can basically special summon an Archfiend Emperor for free and attack with it. It's a 3000 attack beater. And then it says you can banish this card from your graveyard. You can do it the same turn you activate the first effect, by the way. Then target one card you control, shuffle it into the deck, then draw one card. Also, during the end phase of this turn, banish one card from your hand. You can only use this effect of Shuffle Reborn once per turn. So if you set everything, if you don't have anything in your hand during the end phase, then obviously you kind of get around that effect. So you get to draw one card, and if you can set the card or play the monster, then you don't have to worry about banishing it. And it can prove very crucial in a lot of matchups. I like using it against 6 Samurais because if I have a card such as Archfiend's Roar or Needlebug Nest or even something like Palaverin, and they have a Shien and I know it's gonna get negated, instead of just using it and it getting negated, I just set it, shuffle it back with Shuffle Reborn, and hope to get something more useful out of the deck. And then I have a Monster Reborn, 2 Archfiend Palaverin. You guys know this card. I've used it quite a bit. I really like it in Archfiends. And then for the traps, we have 3 Call of the Archfiend, 2 Archfiend's Roar, and 2 Needlebug Nest. You could probably run 3 Roar and 1 Nest, but I wanted to have that option, as if I didn't get my grass, I would hopefully get a Needlebug Nest to start a duel. For the monster lineup, it's pretty standard. We have 3 Archfiend Emperor, 3 Cavalry, 1 Archfiend Empress, and 1 Archfiend Giant. I wanted a target for a level 6 other than Commander itself. And this card is pretty good. If this face-up card in the field is destroyed by a card effect, you can pay 500 life points instead. This effect can only be used once while this card is face-up on the field. So not once per turn, just once, period. If this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Archfiend monster from your hand. It doesn't come up as much, but it's another target, as I mentioned, for Archfiend Commander. But you can run any level 6 Archfiend that you want. 3 Kuribos, kind of the core of this deck. 6 Samurais really struggle against Kuribo, and obviously if you have normal back row, they have the advantage because they can just negate with Shien. So having the Sphere Kuribo is really good to eat up an attack, and then Shien only has 1400 defense, so you can usually get over him after that. I threw in 2 Lilas for back row removal, and also to mill in case I don't get my grass or my Needlebug Nest. And that's pretty much it for the deck list. I do want to mention that Six Samurai struggles a lot with this deck. You're constantly putting on the board 3,000 beaters, 2,900 beaters, 2,500 beaters, and Shien just can't handle all of it at once. You can use Archfiend Emperor's effect to try to destroy Shien and force them to get rid of a Fuma in the graveyard, and then they won't have food for their Inishi effect, or you just get rid of the destruction effect and then you attack. And especially if you have a Call of the Archfiend on the board, which is pretty easy because all you have to do is activate it before Shien gets to the board, and then once this thing is face up, Shien can't do anything about it. And the thing is, the main way for Six Samurais to deal with your with big monsters, it's Inishi, right? You just bounce them back. Well, if they bounce back your Archfiend Emperor to the hand, they just gave you fodder for your Call the Archfiend, and you can float another monster. And the next turn, you do the same thing over and over. Eventually, they'll run out of monsters to banish, or they'll straight up scoop because they can out your board. But this deck was really fun. I wanted to try that new Archfiend, and I always enjoy playing Archfiends. I enjoy flexing my Prismatic Emperor. So let's get into some replays. Alright, so here we're going up against Merrick, and I believe this is a Six Samurai. Balanced Six Samurai, which is probably not the most consistent version, but it's still pretty good. So we're gonna see Shien turn 1 with 2 back row, and we have an okay hand to deal with that, especially since we pick up Archfiend Commander. So we're gonna try to bait the Fuma from the grave, and I know that Shien is protected, but I wanted to get the Fuma out of the way. And instead of him using the Fuma, he goes for Cunning of the Six Samurai, which I don't know if I agree with that, and it works out in my favor. I feel like Cunning is a really strong card to just use when you could have banished the Fuma. So he's gonna float the Shien, get him back on the field, and I'm gonna replace my Archfiend Commander with my Lord of Horror. And the thing is, there was really no threat here because I can't attack. As I said, when you special summon the Archfiend Commander, you can't attack that same turn. He still decides to Canadia, and at that point he's committed all his resources to this one play, and I still have my Kribo in hand. So we're gonna use the Sphere Kribo. Next turn we flip over, I pick up a second Kribo, flip over my Commander, and they scoop. Why? Because they spent all their resources trying to protect their Shien, and at the end of the day, the Shien lost out to a Sphere Kribo. And I'm really liking Kuribo in this meta. It's not very strong against Ancient Gears, but against everything else, even Hazy, it will help you out a lot. So here we have a Yusei, and this might be another Six Samurai matchup. So balance, it's gonna give us a perfect hand. Look at that, Grasslook Screener with Call of the Archfiend. So we're gonna see the Fuma, and because I know this is Six Samurai, I'm gonna immediately flip my Call of the Archfiend. And like I said, once this thing is face up, there's nothing Shien can do. He can just stare at it. Goes for Tie That Binds. We're gonna activate Call of the Archfiend, summon my boy Emperor, and then this is what I meant. Because I can't use this card anyway, as long as Shien is on the board, I'm just gonna use my Shuffle Reborn that I milled with Grasslook Screener. Try to put that back into the deck, see if I can get a better resource. Hopefully a Fiend monster so I can keep my Sphere Kribo. But as luck would have it, I draw the same card. So I'm gonna try to destroy the Shien with Lord of Horror's effect. And I'm just doing that so he can banish the Fuma. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want him to have resources for Inishi. And because I have to banish a card due to Shuffle Reborn, I'm gonna use my Kribo right here and special summon my Commander. Because otherwise I would have lost the Kribo anyway. This way I get a second monster and I hit him for 25. It's gonna activate United, Fuma, draw, activates Cunning. So because I know he's bringing Shien, I'm gonna activate Archfiend's Roar right here. And if he somehow destroys any of these monsters but leaves my cavalry on the field, I'm gonna get them right back. So for 500 life points, that's a huge deal. He activates ties, goes for my commander, cavalry dies, commander comes right back, and then that's pretty much it. Like, they can't do anything. And even if they had an Ishii, like I mentioned, they give you a monster to back to your hand for you to activate Call of the Archfiend with. We have a Yugi next. And I'm sorry if this ends up being all 6 samurais. I don't think they're all 6 samurai, but now I can't remember. I just remember being excited that because you know, I didn't make this deck being like, oh, I'm gonna counter 6 samurai, and they legitimately have no out to Call the Archfiend and an Emperor. So balance, we are going second. And see, look at this weird hand. No spells. I was a little disappointed there. But Call the Archfiend is really good, so we're gonna make do with that. Alright, we're gonna activate, we're gonna set both, get rid of, try to attack. I figured it was a Fuma, that's why I didn't want to waste my Archfiend Emperor's effect. But I still went for the attack, just in case it was something else. Because the Shien is about to get onto the field, I'm gonna activate Call the Archfiend prematurely. And I'll just go ahead and activate Needlebug Nest. Get some more options in the graveyard. Summon Shien. Tie that binds. And I decided to take this 2500 because I really like this combo. I can normal summon Cavalry, special summon Commander, and then special summon a monster with Cavalry's effect when he gets destroyed. So I decided to just take the damage, hopefully draw into another Fiend. I get a Call of the Archfiend, so I'm gonna have to use my Cavalry there. But I can do the same thing using the Empress that was in the graveyard. And the reason why this is better than doing it with Cavalry is because the monster you special summon with Cavalry cannot attack the turn you special summon it. So this way I play around the that restriction and, you know, summon my Lord of Horror with Empress instead. And once again, I'm gonna make him banish that Fuma, just so that he doesn't have, you know, extra resources in the graveyard. We're gonna see Shien number 2. Tie that binds, but what are you gonna do against this Lord of Horror? We're gonna set, unfortunately I don't get a monster right here, so I'm just gonna set my Archfiend's Roar. He goes for double-edged sword technique. Normally if they bring back monsters that have high attack, you wanna just leave them on the field. That way they take the full damage of the attack. But because this is only 200 and 500, I decided to go for the attack anyways. Deal 500 damage there. I probably should have attacked the Fuma, but you know. He's gonna special summon a Kizaru at Inishi on the board, and look at this. Activate 6 Samurai United. Normally this board, when 6 Samurai have this board, is an instant scoop for you. But look at this. He's gonna bounce that Inishi. Activate ties, go for the attack. I'm gonna float with my Empress. If he were to somehow destroy my Empress, Empress is gonna special summon my Archfiend Emperor back, and nothing they can do. Nishi is gonna float back my Empress, call the Archfiend, then get my Emperor back on the field, and that's it. Call the Archfiend again. Just look at this absolute domination. They can't do anything. I love it. I mean, I know I'm a 6 Samurai player too, but you know, they gotta learn. We're gonna pop the Fuma, and that's game. And I still had, I believe, a another card to special summon a monster. So, all right, I don't think this is another 6 Samurai, but if it is, I'm sorry. Or am I? Do you guys like seeing 6 Samurai get destroyed? I know some people didn't like that I posted like a counter deck for 6 Samurai, but come on. I'm just trying to flush out the brain dead players. If you're a good 6 Samurai player, you will find a way to get around the counter decks that are out there. Just trying to, you know, get the bandwagoners out. Triple back row and Heavy Knight of the Flame. Okay, this is Gemini, I remember this. We're gonna summon Lila. He's gonna activate Canada, and that's fine. Normal summons the Heavy Knight, so he can now banish anything that's special summon. So we're gonna try to pop him. He goes for Gemini Spark. Gets rid of my back row, which is really unfortunate. He got rid of my Call of the Archfiend. But I know this deck, so I know he's gonna struggle to get a monster. He's forced to use his Canada right here. And I don't care if my cavalry goes into the graveyard because I'm trying to get him back with Archfiend's Roar. That way, when he gets destroyed, I get a Emperor back. There we go, special summon Emperor, Prismatic. We're gonna banish to get rid of the Heavy Knight. And no delays when I went for the attack, so I'm like, okay, back row is free. So we're gonna try to pop the new one. He goes for Canada. You never want to Canada an Archfiend Emperor that was not summoned the same turn, because all your opponent's gonna do is flip over that Archfiend and pop something else. So now he's on the ropes. He top decks a Heavy Knight of the Flame with a Supervise, but fortunately for me, I have a Sphere Kuriboh. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that. Supervise is gonna bring him back, but I can just destroy it again. Yeah. Just ran out of resources. I feel you, man. I'm sad that Gemini are not as strong as they used to be, but you gotta face reality and move on. Until we get more support though. Then we can come back. And then for last but not least, we have a Yubel matchup. If you have multiple Archfiends on the field, Yubel is not super hard. And also Yubel is going to trigger your Empress, is going to trigger your Cavalry. So we get a perfect opening hand. Grasp plus Call the Archfiend. You cannot ask for something better. Even Cavalry. So because Yubel players are going to do Yubel things, he doesn't even care that I have a monster that wants to be destroyed by card effect. He's still going to go. I have a Yubel in hand. I must destroy it. Summon Terror Incarnate. End turn, I'm gonna get an Emperor. Thanks, Yubel. Now we can get rid of you. Show me phase 3 as I activate my Call of the Archfiend. And get rid of phase 3 as well. So this was totally unnecessary, but after I destroy this Yubel, I tribute summon for my Archfiend Commander because, you know, he is part of the deck. I'm trying to show him off. And he's gonna special summon my my Archfiend Giant. Now what this does is, if he were to survive with Kuribohs, I can protect my Giant from being destroyed by Terror Incarnate if I choose to. If not, if he gets destroyed, I get to special summon an Archfiend back, so I just get my Emperor back and, you know, do it all over again. But no Kuriboh, so easy win. And that is the new Archfiends, man. I like Commander. You know, he's good to use in the deck, but Archfiends were always good. I think they just needed a good place in the meta, and you know, with Xian only being 2,500, it might be a good sign for Archfiends. So, you Archfiends players, start testing your decks. I think it's time to dust them off and make them dominate the meta again. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want. Join my Discord if you haven't. The link will be down in the description. Along with my PayPal link, you guys want to support my channel, support my content. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And until next time.